Welcome back to DVC Weekly. This is episode 149. My name is Jason Oppelding. I'm the broker of Buy and Sell DVC. I'm here with Scott Ferrioli.
I'm the owner of DVC-Rental.com and Buy and Sell DVC.com.
And today is December 13th, 2023. So your 11th month window is November 13th, 2024. And the 7th month window is July 13th, 2024. We're going to go into the buy and sell side of things, and we're going to discuss Disney's Hilton Head Island Resort. Now, this is one place that I have not visited, and it's one place, man, if you're in the Disney
Gone once.
Hilton Head Facebook group, I mean, the people that vacation there, this resort, like, it gets so much love.
It's
It is
passionate about it.
crazy.
Yeah.
And then last week, there was a post about how many people had vacation at this resort and then moved to that area. And then you had, multiple people who had vacation there, say 5 to 9 years and then moved, to that area. And I was just like, wow, that's pretty impressive.
That's cool, yeah.
I mean, it's one thing you get these people to move to Orlando, but you get these people that move to, Hilton Head Island area near, Disney's resort. I mean, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
And so I just have on here that here's what you can expect when visiting this resort during the summer. One is warm weather. I mean, they have very similar temperature to Orlando, except it's just, slightly cooler, but it is humid as well. You do have beach access. The resort is located near the beautiful beaches of Hilton Head Island. And now you've been to the beach there, right?
Yes.
And is it pretty convenient, or?
I wish it was more convenient because you have to leave the resort. You take one of their shuttles and go down the beach. It's probably like a mile plus down the beach, but you got to cross over a road. But it was not bad at all. It's not like it's Vero, which is super convenient. You literally just walk out into the beach. So it's definitely more of a pain than that. But it wasn't too bad. You just hop on the shuttle, probably runs every couple minutes back and forth, and just takes you down there. And they have like a little pool. They have a pool at the beach as well, which is pretty cool, pretty nice. A little clubhouse type thing, and then the beach as well.
And of course, you have outdoor activities. It says Disney's Hilton Head Island Resort offers a range of outdoor activities during the summer: fishing, nature trails, marsh excursions.
I want to cut you off, but what I found really cool, and I think you'll appreciate this, is you've gone on a lot of cruises as well, and you pay for excursions to go on. Hilton Head every day has multiple tours and stuff that they do. That's all free of charge when you're staying at the resort.
Really?
So you sign up and they'll take you down to the water, and you'll go looking at bird watching tour, and they'll point stuff out to you. You go down by the beach and they'll talk about the erosion and the fish and crabs and different they have all different tours around the resort that they have every single day, and they're all free of charge when you stay there.
Wow.
So it's kind of like little paid excursions, but free for you when you stay there. So just really fun. And the people who always take you, the cast members, are always very knowledgeable about everything.
That's awesome.
Again, it's been a while since I did that, but that was one of the things I thought was really, really cool, because none of the other resorts have anything like that, where you got somebody who's giving private tours.
Right.
So a lot of people sign up for that. You have to sign up in advance. So make sure if you do that, sign up in advance as soon as you get there, find out what tours they have and sign up for what you can.
Nice. And pools and waterfront, of course, recreation and entertainment, dining, wildlife, shopping, golf. And again, it's very, it says family-friendly atmosphere. I mean, it's very family-friendly. I mean, again, and the other thing about, at Vero Beach, people, they leave stuff behind, chairs to pass on to other people or whatever. Hilton Head is another place where you see people, they have, passes on to someone else, and they're always, passing on beach toys, beach chairs, all that stuff. So
it's very different than Vero. You'd expect it to be maybe kind of like a little beachy. It's mostly wilderness, camping theme. You walk through a property and there's just hammocks there, and a lot of big oak trees and Spanish moss hanging on them. So it's not a beachy vibe. It's more of you're up in the mountains, campy type vibe. Walk by and they've got cornhole, and it's just very, very different than Vero, but very cool experience as well.
Are you familiar? Do Does your family, do you guys ever eat a low country boil?
No.
No. Okay.
None of the only person who'd be interested in that was me. Would be me.
Okay.
My family would not be interested in that at all. They don't like crabs or like shrimp a little bit, but not really boiled. And they don't like any really spicy stuff. Or
Gotcha.
I think it was probably too much seasoning, and nobody wants to eat. They wouldn't do the crawfish or anything. But
Gotcha.
I wouldn't mind doing it.
And the other thing is, I mean, it's very difficult to get a reservation there
Yes.
over spring break, over Easter, and over the summertime. So, I don't even know. I mean, really, the other thing, when you read the comments on these things, that's really, there's so many people that have bought resale at Hilton Head because they, somehow they got in one time, and then in order to get in again each time, they bought points there.
Yeah, it's
and as far as the rental, I don't know, do you guys do hardly any
Not a lot.
rentals there
It's
because
not-
it's just so
not-
hard?
Not a lot. We had one listed that sold relatively quickly about a couple weeks ago. But I mean, otherwise, there's not a lot of people. I think maybe the people who are booking them don't sell them. They lock them in for themselves and they end up going. But we typically don't get a lot of requests for them. I still think there's a ton of people. Same with Vero Beach. I think there's a ton of people who just they know Disney World or maybe they're comfortable with Disney World and that's all they really book. That we don't get a ton of Vero Beach and Hilton Head rentals. And I mean, as you know, but at least you know from Vero, like it's a great resort.
Yeah.
It's super fun and lots of stuff to do. So I mean, there should be more rentals than there are.
And then now we're on to the food of the week.
Come here, I'm gonna eat you! Get in my belly!
So for today's food of the week, I am back at one of my favorites, which is Karamell Kuche in Epcot's Germany Pavilion, which I think has some of the best treats on Disney property. Several weeks ago, I did the butter bar. And I thought it was decent, but it was kind of like oily and just none of my family liked the butter bar. But they have the seasonal pumpkin butter bar for $5.29. And this one was much, much better. It was more nice, like streusel cookie. It was not oily at all. It had like a pumpkin caramel. The only thing I would change is that I wish the pumpkin taste was maybe like a little bit stronger with it. But I mean, I thought this was good again. I gave this an 8.3. I would definitely get this again. And again, I was nervous trying it based on my previous experience with the butter bar. But maybe the other butter bar was just an odd one that it was just really like oily or buttery, just like slimy. Maybe it was just a one-off thing and they're normally like this. But this one was really, really good. And I definitely like this one better than the one I had previously.
And now we're on to the DVC rental side of things.
So for this one, I just want to talk, and I think we talked about this maybe a couple weeks ago again, like renting versus owning. And from the renter experience, I just wanted to list a couple things. First one is the cost savings. You enjoy the cost savings of staying at a deluxe resort without all of the upfront financial commitments of DVC ownership. Now, again, this is going to be all from the rental side. There are reasons definitely that you'd want to buy in versus renting, but this is just on the rental side. One of the other benefits is the flexibility in resort choices. That you could choose different DVC resorts for every single vacation you have. And again, if you own there, you can as well. But with renting, you can get the 11-month priority window no matter where you go. So if you own at a resort, like Jason owns at Vero Beach, he can book Vero Beach at 11 months, but he's got to wait till 7 months out to book Beach Club. Where if you're renting points, you can get the 11-month priority because, again, we just match you with an owner at that resort. So you do have more flexibility there. Also, you get to avoid the long-term commitments. When you buy a deeded real estate property, you own that property and you have that until you sell it or until the contract expires, the deed expires. This one, again, it's a short-term thing. You book it's a one-off rental. Once you're finished with it, it's over. Another thing is it's a great way, I've said this in the past, is to try it before you purchase it. It's kind of like test driving a car. If you want to sit there and see if the brand new Corvette is good for Jason, he doesn't want to just go and give him all the money and then hop in the car and drive away. You want to go out there and sit in it and feel it and go, he's a big guy. He's like 6'4". He might be like, this is just too small for me. I don't want to be leaning all the way down and I feel like I'm driving on the ground. You want to test drive it. And renting points is a good way for you not to, have a huge investment of $20,000-$30,000 in buying a contract, you can sit there and test drive it. Say, do I want Boardwalk? Or you might stay at Boardwalk and say, Scott spoke about Boardwalk. He really loves it. It really wasn't for my family. I kind of prefer something else. So it's a great way to try something without putting the huge upfront costs on it. Another great thing is that you're not responsible for annual dues. Every year, annual dues go up on DVC contracts. They make changes. They're paying members. They're making enhancements. They're doing refurbishments. Every year, dues go up. So when you're renting points, you don't really have to worry about dues at all. But truthfully, as the points have gone up and the dues have gone up over the years, the rental price has gone up as well, because it does kind of have to match it a little bit. And the last thing is that there's no really direct involvement with the resale market. On here it says, you don't need to navigate the complexities of the DVC resale market. Again, we've got a professional here like Jason, so it's never too complicated. But it is obviously a lot more complicated to go. I'll start by saying it's easy to sit there and say, I know my family wants to go to beach club next year. I'll book a room. Super simple. Instead of going, I want to buy a beach club contract. I know that expires in 2042. Is that really a good price? And it's a little bit higher than the other 2042s, but it does have the best pool on property. Will I really be using the pool when I go? A lot more complicated when you're sitting there doing a one-off thing versus purchasing something, for life, essentially. It's kind of like, renting a house on Airbnb versus purchasing a property. It's a lot easier to say, I'm going to stay in that villa in Tuscany for a week versus I want to buy a house in Tuscany. Obviously, that's a lot more complicated. So much simpler just renting for the first time. But again, it's always great when the people come in and they rent something from us, and then a couple years later, they're reaching out to Jason and saying, we've had such great times renting, from you guys. Now it's time to sit there and we want to make this our home. So it's just, they go each way. And again, Jason could have the same exact, discussion, a week or two from now going, here's why buying is better than renting. It's half a dozen, 6 of one, half dozen of the other.
Yeah, both things, because there's members out there that are they're cheering you on, because there's members that either, go to you to say, hey, I need you to rent out my points this year. So those members want to make sure that rental market's always there.
Oh, yeah.
Because when they want to rent out their points, they want to get them rented out. So, the renters are out, the owners are out there, they're cheering you on because, you need to have those renters. And really, it's one of those things, it's, rent, to me, yeah. If you're coming to Disney World, you should either be an owner or a renter. One of those two things.
Absolutely.
It's like
you should be you should be paying a discounted price for some sort of deluxe accommodations.
Yes.
Whether it's a one-off thing or if you're doing this in the long run, being an owner will save you more money versus renting every year. One of them, you're getting discounted reservations either way. So it's just what you prefer. And again, both of us own several contracts each. So it's, we've known over the years this is the way to go.
Yeah, and then again, at this point on the resale side, again, you have, Disney's involved, the title company, all these things. But on the rental side, you have this company, it was 2009. When did your company go back to? Sorry.
The company goes back, it's 2010, technically 2010.
Okay. So 2010, yeah. And they keep improving, their systems every year, and, they get down, almost to a science. They're making improvements all the time. And then they have, of course...
Team has grown over the years.
Team has grown. They have more owners coming to them, more renters, make the system more, user-friendly, so you can get that reservation secured, booked, and, so that's, really, it's, when you're a renter, that's what you want. You want to make sure, okay, is this too good to be true, or whatever, It's like, no, this company's been here a long time. They're not going anywhere. They've been dealing with these owners, renting out their points. Okay, let's make this reservation, because it is legit. This is, it's like you're checking in at the boardwalk, and you're paying some price directly from Disney, and this person over here is running from DVC-Rental, and they're saving 50% of what you're saving. It's like, why?
Yeah.
You should be either owning or renting,
yep,
or staying in whatever state you're in and not coming to Walt Disney World. Because it's just it's unbelievable, really.
No,
As long as you can get the
agree.
reservation and secure it, then you're going to save money.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Again, I've been owner since 2008. I'm not sure when you first became an owner. It's
Back
a
and
long
forth
time.
a bunch of times.
I know. It's those things that you go, what was one of the best decisions I ever made was buying into DVC. I went to, personally, I've mentioned this, I think many episodes ago, I wanted to wait until, I was younger when I bought in, but I wanted to wait until we were financially secure where I could pay cash for it. That was my personal thing. There's a lot of people who finance, that's perfectly fine. The way I worked, I sat there and said, I want to make sure that I have enough, I want to make sure I had enough saved where I could make my first purchase. And so it took me a couple extra years before I was able to versus when I wanted to. But that's worked best for my family. And again, it's one of the best things I ever did. DVC has been wonderful. I mean, we have discount accommodations. I mean, I don't use them as much now because I live here, but I mean, it's been absolutely great to sit there and say, I'm staying in resorts now that I never ever thought that I would stay in. Or personally, I couldn't justify paying $700 a night to stay in these resorts, and I'm going, okay, for half of that, I'm staying in these wonderful resorts, and the rooms are bigger, and my kids are getting great experience. It's just been so wonderful.
Yeah, I mean, and oh my gosh, I forgot what I was going to say. But oh my gosh, I forgot what I was going to say. Sorry,
Was it
you
about
keep
Vero
talking.
Beach?
No, it wasn't about,
Vero Beach.
Oh, I know what I was going to say. I mean, I don't necessarily, it doesn't have to be young, but I mean, when you have, I always picture more freedom when you're young. But if you have the freedom and you can kind of like go when you want, where you want. I mean, renting is awesome because then it's like, okay, we can go here, but you start getting into, you have a family, kids have a schedule, school. Well, then it's like, I don't know if Scott gets kind of pressure like this. Like, people are like, Scott, listen, the only time I can go is I need to check in May 26th and check out this date. Because once you get to that, that's when like ownership really becomes more important because your windows of when you can book are so small. You want to make sure you can make that reservation either right at the 11-month mark or the 7-month mark.
The one we get the most, I would say, is probably, my significant other's a teacher. So I can only go during these summer months, and I've got this and this, so I've only got this little window here. I know it's more crowded during the summer, but this is all I've got. So
yeah,
DVC is great because again, I bought DVC when my kids were my youngest was an infant, and now I'm sitting here. It's been 15 years since then. I'm going, okay, now I've got a 16-year-old, and I'm going to be able to take my grandkids at some point. I locked into this 15 years ago. And I've added on since then, but it's a cool situation to sit there and go. I went there at first, with my little baby, and now I'm still going to have this when I'm treating my grandkids to go into places. So it's.
And I like how you just jumped. I like how that though. Your kids are in high school, middle school, and you went straight to the grandkids. I like it.
Yeah.
Because you're also probably gonna have a phase where you're like. You might be vacationing with their girlfriends.
Maybe.
And then
there's a chance that possibly, once they're in their late teens or their early 20s, they might be like, and also we live locally, they might be like, we don't really want to go to Disney or we don't want to do this. And, they may not want to, might be empty nesters for a little while, like Debbie, and, she's doing all of her vacations and stuff. And then all of a sudden, they may have a little kid and then they're like, I want my kid to experience Disney. And it's going to circle right back around again. So you never know what's going to happen.
Or when you get the talk, he's like, "Hey, Dad, I need a reservation these 2 nights."
I want to go
because I'm thinking about proposing. Like,
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, that's cool.
I don't know what direction we just went to, but
I'm not sure. But DVC is great.
Like all those things could happen, and like if let's say he wants to go to Alani, and like you say. Like the rooms there are like $700 a night, but you're like, okay, let me book some nights for you.
Yeah, exactly. Because I was going, I'm not going to pay for him and his girlfriend or him and his friends to go to Hawaii, for $700 a night. But I got extra points around, of course. I'll book you 5 nights in Hawaii or 7 nights, or whatever, with your friends. Go ahead, So yeah.
Oh yeah, exactly. Or like you say, like let's say your son's, everything's going, doing well in college and everything, and then. For some reason, they want to go to Hilton Head on July 4th. And you're like, yeah, here's a 2-bedroom, you and, 6 friends or whatever.
Or again, or as an owner, you can, again, use those points to book into, interval. No, back to RCI now, I'm sorry. Back to RCI, use it to transfer out to RCI and stay somewhere completely non-Disney related. So there's DVC offers a huge flexibility, and as an owner, you've got that as well, where you can sit there and say, they want to go skiing in Colorado, and you can book a place in Colorado to go skiing, or out of the country. Like there's others. I'm gonna go to way off target here, but I mean, there's lots of options you have with Disney Vacation Club.
And I know that you would never say this, but it's like your son. Let's say your son and his friends go to Hilton Head over July 4th. You're like, listen, I'm somewhat DVC famous. I need you guys to. I need you guys to make sure you behave. I don't want this coming back to me. Some video of, hey, check out Scott's son, jumping off the balcony into the pool. That definitely wouldn't be my oldest one. That could be my youngest one. So watch out for my youngest one. He's a little more rambunctious. My other one's very calm and collected. It's always the younger ones that are a little crazier. They're a little crazy, yep. Yes, indeed.
All right, we've gone too crazy.
We've gone too far on that. So hopefully you enjoyed that, and hopefully. I mean, again, you've been a DVC. There's some people, they're been a DVC member so long. You see the kids grow up, and then the next stage of, significant others, and then grandkids. So it's quite the ride that some of these people are on.
Yep, absolutely.
Thanks again.
Thank you for watching. We appreciate you all.